Good morning, Carly and Todd. Colorado authorities say the suspect planned this attack for more than a year. They say his reason was that he wanted to kill all Zionist people.
He was interviewed about the attack. He said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again. He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon is charged with a federal hate crime and multiple state charges, including 16 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Investigators say they found 4 more victims, bringing the total number of people hurt to 12. They say Solomon had more than a dozen unused Molotov cocktails. DHS say Solomon, an Egyptian national, was in the country illegally. He entered the country with a tourist visa in August 22 and applied for asylum the next month. Fox is told he was given work authorization under the Biden administration in March 2023, but that has since expired. President Trump saying yesterday's horrific attack in Boulder, Colorado will not be tolerated in the United States of America. He came in through Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so badly. He must go out under Trump policy. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt is also blaming the former president. And here's border czar Tom Homan.
This scares the hell out of me. I've been doing this for 40 years. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. This 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
DHS is now reviving its ICE tip line in the wake of this attack. They say this will allow folks to report suspicious criminal activity by people who are in the country illegally. Carly and Todd.
Madeline Rivera, live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you.
You got it.
Let's bring in Ronen and Orna Neutra, whose son, Omer Neutra, was a 21-year-old IDF soldier and dual American-Israeli citizen who was killed by Hamas on October 7th. Ronen and Orna, thank you so much for being here this morning. I mean, Orna, these innocent people in Boulder were advocating for the release of your son's body, which is still being held in Gaza, and they were attacked as a result of that. How are you processing that this morning?
So we're heartbroken, and you know, these were innocent people that have been by our side for 86 weeks now. 86 weeks, 606 days. Can you believe that this has been going on? And these are peaceful people. It's an organization that was established after October 7th, and the sole purpose is bringing awareness to our plight, to the plight of families such as ours, and for the release of the hostages. So for these, you know, innocent people, we're talking about an elderly person, a Holocaust survivor, over 80 years old, reminds me of my own father, and innocent children to be harmed that way. It's just infuriating and outraging, and we just wish them well. And we actually want to thank them for all the support that they've been showing us as hostage families for such a long time.
Yeah, and 606, it is a number that's hard to believe. And Ronen, over the course of that time, and very recently so, a trend has formed. With Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, his home was targeted in an arson attack. And then you had 2 beautiful and young Israeli embassy staffers who were murdered just about 2 weeks ago. And now you have the public and intentional burning of Jews. And Orna mentioned it, you both have Holocaust survivors as parents. And I'm sure that horrific imagery is something that you've reflected on.
Yeah, you know, our son was born a month after 9/11. Orna was pregnant in the city. She walked through the bridge with a big belly. And here we are, 20-some years later, and our son has been involved in the biggest attack on Israel and has been taken hostage. And for 422 days, we didn't know his whereabouts and his condition. And we were just told early December that he's no longer alive by new intelligence. It's horrible. It's horrible. And the hate that we see that inspired by people who are misinformed is really creating terrorism that cannot be tolerated. Mm-hmm. And our family stands with deep solidarity with the people that march for us and for the remaining 58 hostages, among them 4 Americans, and 45 Americans were murdered on October 7th. So it's very personal here in America, and we cannot tolerate it. We cannot support it. We have to continue to march, and we're so thankful for President Trump to have a chance to reach a new deal with the devil, with Hamas, and bring the 58 hostages back sooner rather than later, stop the war, bring prosperity to the Middle East again. This is all right now a possibility, and we support President Trump and his envoy, Steve Witkoff, in everything they're doing to bring about our loved one and bring peace to the Middle East.
So, Orna, on the march front, you were attending a walk in New York City, I believe, as similar to the one that took place in Boulder, Colorado, also on Sunday. So I'm sure you feel an extra connection to these victims as a result of that. And I think a natural human reaction will be, I can't attend these marches or these walks anymore because you feel like you could potentially be targeted. Do you feel that way?
Well, our family has been targeted. Like Ronen shared and like you shared, our son is a hostage. He's being held by a terrorist organization. This is, this is our way of, and the way of the community to support us, to step out for us. And they've been doing that in solidarity for many, many weeks. Of course, I understand that, people might be concerned about what happened. And, we have to be careful, and local police, should be available and should be on site to make sure that things like this don't happen, but we can't be silenced. These groups are marching to raise awareness. That's their only purpose. When the hostages are released, people will go back to their own lives. And this is not only a Jewish march. This has been an opportunity for any American to show support for the hostage families. It's a humanitarian issue. It's not a political issue, and it's in favor and to raise awareness. It's not against anything. It's in favor of releasing the hostages. The moment the hostages are released, these groups will be dismantled. Yes. So, for anyone wanting this war to end, join these marches. Yes. We all want this war to end. There's nothing we want more than our son to come home and all of the hostages to come home, and for the war to end, and for the people of Gaza to be released from under this terror regime. So we have to continue marching.
Yes. Ronen and Orna, your fight continues 606 days later. Your son died a hero and will be remembered as such. Ronen and Orna Neutra, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.